Hello guys, KP Shabino here with a new video for Path of Exile 2. And in this video I'm going to give you guys a detailed guide for my Smith of Kitava. So this build is going to use the new Ascendancy, is going to use Earthshatter-Hammer of the Gods, Sunder, and for clearing Leap Slam, of course, with Boneshatter, because that's the best. This is a very tanky build, but I put some very nice DPS outburst in it too. So this is a build that is perfect for people like me that are not very good at gaming. You can take a hit. You will not die in an instant. It's not going to happen because the Smith of Kitava is a very, very good tank. So what did I do with this build? Just all the maps I did. I did tier 3, the Breach boss 2, the Pinnacle one. I tried tier 4, but what was the problem? I couldn't reach him. So I couldn't reach his platform in time. That's a problem, but I say it in front. So what are the stats that you're looking at? Because this is one of the best tanks in the game. So almost capped 90% on the resistance. The health is 65. You got 65% block. You got 51 armor percent. A nice life pool too. And that's not all. You got life regeneration of 400. If you jump with Leap Slam, you got 630. So this is a very good tank. I think one of the best tanks in the game at the moment. What is the plan? I'm going to show you guys, as always, the gameplay. So the tier 3 breach boss kill, you will see it now. I will show you guys a tier 50 map too, that you see the gameplay on Trash 2 and the boss. And then I'm going to show you guys the gems, then it's the talent tree, then it's the gear, and then it's going to be 7-8 mechanics that I will explain in detail that you can understand it. So everything that you need to know will be in timestamps under this video, so enjoy the gameplay. If you don't like it, close the video and play another build. I see you guys after the gameplay.
We that dreamed, we in nightmare, we that are one, she of thought and motion. We are fury, she of winter's envy. Womb of existence, we shall rupture. His message burns. We are fury. She of wisdom and action.
Shatter and break!
Flesh is not ours, but yours beckons hither. They fight once more. Fate belies truth. We control, they dance. We are fury. She of storming cruelty. The red fire blooms. They fight. The hive shall spill forth like a mother's blood. We that fail.
yourself! Enough! Weakling! Come here! Weakling! Split the earth!
My pet's hunger! Estelle! My pet's hunger!
Okay, guys, for the people that are still here, I'm going to show you guys the gems. So I will do it very slowly, from left to right, that people can see right away all the gems, because there are a lot of gems. So I ran out of the gems, and that's a pity because we cannot use the same support gems for certain skills. So I hope in the future, if we got access and swords, that we can optimize it a little bit better. So let's get started first with Boneshatter. So you're just going to get Boneshatter. Be sure that you got 20 quality on it, level 20 of course. The maximum level always with 20 quality. Then you got Impact Shockwave. Then you got Fire Infusion. Then you got Deafy. Then you got Devastate. And then you got Armor Explosion. So that are the 5 links that you need to link. If you start the game, just take Impact Shockwave is the most important. So that's the most important. That's how you can get a lot of clearing. And then a little bit later I would go with Devastate and Armor Explosion just to get a little bit more clearing. Then the Leap Slam, 2020 again if possible. You need to get Holy Descent, very important. Then you need to get Brink, even more important. Then you need to get Momentum for more DPS and Magnified Effect for more AoE. So that's how you need to do it. So if you don't survive, be sure that you got Holy Descent. Brink I will explain a little bit later for the priming and how it works. Then you got Earthshatter, once again 2020. Then you need to get Upheaval, very important. Then you need to get Splinter, otherwise you cannot break the armor. This is going to break the armor that we can execute the 100% crit chance for Sunder. Then we are going to get Aftershock, then we are going to get Close Combat, and we are going to get Martial Tempo. So at the start, get Upheaval and get Martial Tempo. Because Upheaval is going to do 20% less attack speed. Get those two together. That's very important. And Splinter. That are the first one. The other ones is a little bit later just to get more DPS. Then Infernal Cry. Once again, 2020. This one. So you got Premeditation. Very important. Then you got Enraged Warcry. You got Tireless. And you got Enguinty. So those 4 I will stack on them. Then you got Berserk. Very simple. There is nothing special 2020 again. Be sure that you put it up. This is going to soak spirit for people that start playing this game. You activate a buff just by clicking it, and here at the right you will see your spirit. So then the next one, the Hammer of the Gods. So 2020 again we got Exploit Weakness, because supporter skill cannot break armor but do more damage, but we will always do this after a heavy stun with Boneshatter, and Boneshatter is going to break the armor with Devastate. So you will always get unbroken armor. Then the next one is Rage Forge. Then we got Fist of War, we got Brutality, and we got Lacerate. That's the Hammer of the Gods. Then we got Herald of Ash. Very important. This is used to get a lot of clearance. That's the fire that you see exploding. So Herald of Ash 2020 again. We got Cannibalism for survivability. Very important. Then we got Precision, very important too, because this is an accuracy build. There is no Resolute Techniques, otherwise Sunder does not work. We got Fire Mastery, and that are the 3 for Herald of Ash. Then Seismic Cry, 2020 again. We got Corrupting Cry, we got Dazing Cry, and we got Murderous Intent. So you will get Culling Strike if you use Seismic Cry. And then the last one, you can see here the DPS. This is going to do 50 to 60,000 DPS according to Path of Building with Sunder. I'm not sure that they calculated the multiplier, but I think so. So really decent DPS. So you got here Sunder, 2020 again. You need to get Heavy Swing. You need to get Heft. You need to get a super critical, very important, because you always get the critical hit chance with Sunder on a broken armor. So the bad modifier here is not used by this. So you get just supporter skill have 100% increased critical damage. That's big. That's like double DPS. And then you got concentrated effects. So that are the 4, not the 4, but that are the gem links. You will find them, of course, in Path of Building 2 under this video. Now I'm going to talk about the talent tree. Okay guys, the talent tree. So first of all, I'm going to start with the Smith of Kitava. So Smith of Kitava is a very good tanky character. So you start this character and the first 4 ascendancy points you need to take this one. So Coal Soaker. What is this going to do? It's going to give the half of the fire resistance that you got to cold and lightning. So if you find an item that got 40 fire resistance on it, it will give 20 to cold and lightning too. Very strong, very easy in the campaign to cap your resistance. And then the next one is this one. So modifiers to maximum fire resistance also grant maximum cold and lightning resistance. So every +1 point in maximum fire will give 1 to cold and lightning resistance, maximum 2. So therefore I get to 90%. The only one that I still need to do is fire one, but I'm limited here on standard, otherwise this was 92. I cannot buy anything, and it's very hard to find certain items for a build. That's the first one, the second one, and then the next one. So this is very important. So the Smith Masterwork. So you can only use a normal body armor. I will talk a little bit later about it too. So this is a normal one too. You can get corrupted ones. And then you can stack on this normal one. You can stack skills that you find here. So I got 4 of them. I would start first with this one. So 15% increased maximum life, then increased strength. Those 2 ones, because strength is buffing your life and life too, of course. And then for passive point 7 and 8, I would go for those ones. So the body armor grants +5% to maximum fire resistance, so that's going to give 5 maximum to lightning and cold too. But this is something for the end game. Then you will need that a lot, end game mapping. And then I would take this one too. I'm going with the 5% maximum life per second. So that are the 4 one. So ascendancy point 1, 2 this one, 3, 4 this one, and 6, 7 this one, and 7, 8 this one. So for the build, what would I do if I start the game? The first thing that I would do is go right away to Resolute Techniques. At the start you can use it, but the moment that you start using Sunder, you need to put this off. Because with Resolute Techniques you cannot crit, and Sunder need to have crit to apply the 100% critical strike. So be sure that you do that, but at the start you can take that for a brief moment. Go with Earthshatter. I will post a video under this video too, how you need to level on a warrior, because it's very simple. Once that you got Leap Slam and Boneshatter activated, it's not anymore a problem, and then you got Earthshatter with Infernal Cry and you're done. And then you just need to stack everything up to the end build. So what do? You go to Resolute Techniques, and then it's very simple. So these are DPS nodes. If you want to go a little bit faster, you need to go attack speed. Here is attack speed and here is attack speed. So if you got the shield, you can go a little bit higher on block chance, but at the start it's not that important. This is a very good node to boost really quick your DPS a lot. I would take this node really quick too, that you don't get stunned an extra life. That's very important. And then this is for buffing your cries. Your cries are very important. You saw it in the gameplay, but this is something a little bit later. You can take a couple of them, like empower this a little bit. If you're on a boss and you see you're not pushing DPS enough, that means that your Infernal Cry is not strong enough. Take a couple of nodes here. You can see this is like 30% increased damage. It's crazy. This is so crazy for DPS, so just take it. If you need to have a little bit more survivability, you just need to get here the strength wheel for life and this one. And then you go up here. Here we got the wheel. For the resistance here. So that's how I get to 90%. And here is block chance. One of the best wheels to get your block chance higher. Increased area of effect is very important too. So if you start going around with Leap Slam-Boneshatter and you see that you're not killing the packs or your AoE is not big enough, this wheel is very important for AoE. Here you got 2 of them too, and here too. Take a couple of more nodes in it during leveling, because that's important. So this is the build. very straight on. There is not really a lot of difficulty in it. So for the jewel here, take corrupted blood cannot be inflicted on you. Why is that important? For mapping it's important, but it's important for ultimatum too. You need to do all your ascendancy in the ultimatum. But they got there a note that you get like a debuff that is turning around, is giving corrupted blood. If you take this, it's not doing anything. It's like a free play for that one. So be sure that you get it. And here, for this one, I got the Time Lost Diamond. I'm not sure that you still can get this one, but it's still a good one. So you can do a lot of stuff with that. You can see this radius, everything in this radius, small passive will give 1% more life. If you cannot buy this anymore, that's not a problem. It's like only 100 life. I just sock it here. So you can get, for example, plus 1% to maximum fire too. It's going to save your sockets on your gear. So that's a very good one too. What is a good one too? That notable passive give a percentage strength. Very good. Because you can see 1, 2, 3 is big. So if you got 3 or 4%, that's like 15-18% more strength. So that's very good. So try to take a Time Lost Diamond with plus to maximum fire, life, or strength. That's important. And then I'm going to talk about this. So this is executing Giant's Blood. So you guys already saw that I'm using a two-hander and a shield. You can use two-handers too. You can dual wield them. Why is that? Because I'm using Giant's Blood. But Giant's Blood got one big problem. So you can see it. You can wield two-handed axes, maces and sword in one hand. Triple attribute requirements for martial weapons. What does that mean? So normally a weapon, you need to have a certain amount of strength for it. If you use Giant's Blood, that's multiply 3. So that makes it very strong, but very hard to get to. So you need to stack a lot of strength on your equipment. You need to take all strength nodes. That's very important. So it can take some time. At the start, it's not really a problem, because the lower level weapons, they got less strength that is needed. So you can equip really quick a certain lower level item. But later on, you need to have 5-600s. Therefore, it's very good to roll on a weapon reduced attribute requirement. So I only need 440 for strength with Giant's Blood. So that can be really tricky, but you will see a lot of nodes are all strength. So here is a good wheel to get the strength. This alone is around, if you take them all, 32 plus 25. That's 60 strength already, and you will see this is a very good node, 5% increased strength. Therefore, I took the node to 20% increased strength. So at some point you will get it, but you need to build it up a little bit. At the start, just play with the two-hander. It's not a problem. A warrior, it's not that hard to get to the chapters with just the two-hander, but later on you need to go to a shield, because otherwise you die a lot. If you don't have a very high DPS, it's very hard to play with two-handers in this game. So that was the 3 under this Path of Building 2, if you want to check it in Path of Building 2. Now I'm going to talk about the equipment. Okay guys, we are going to start first with the Maul. So the Maul, you just need to get increased physical damage, add physical damage and attack speed. So the higher the physical damage, the more DPS. Very straight on. Then the next modifier that I would take, and you probably will need that in the end game, reduced attributes requirements. I already told you guys that that's for Giant's Blood. So that's very straight on. I got here at the moment 2 times the 25 increased physical damage rune, greater iron rune. But I would use this one, but I don't have access to it on standard because nobody's selling it. So this is for me better. So the martial weapon, the greater rune of Alacrity, because it's going to give 8% increased skill speed. Speed is very important, so if you can get this one, get it. 60% increased skill speed, Leap Slam is going quicker, Earthshatter is hitting harder, everything is just going quicker. I think that's better, if you got access to it. So that is the Maul. Then for the equipment, so it's most of the time just the same. So you can see here the helmet. So you need to have life strength on it at the start. Because you don't have access probably to reduced attributes. So you can see if you stack on every item strength, it's around 240, 250 that you can get. And then resistance on it. So what is the beauty with the Smith of Kitava? That you don't need to stack that much resistance, because you buff it with the fire resistance and have go to lightning and cold. So you can save a lot of money. So you can see, if you see, I'm so overcapped here, 106.8, 115. And that makes it very accessible to get really easy strength gear, because you just need to have life and strength most of the time. In the past, you need to have strength, life, and resistance, and that makes it very expensive. Rune here, +2 increased maximum life. Then I'm going to talk about the chest. So what do you need to do with the chest? I wanted to make something extra, but I will say it here. So for me, the best chest that you can get is the ornate plate. If you find it, take it. Why? Because the implicit here got regeneration. Regeneration is very important, one of the best to survive. So you can see here, you will find this, but you need to do a couple of things with it before you corrupt it. So first of all, be sure that you got 2 sockets. Be sure that you use armor scraps on it. And then you need to use a corruption. So corruption is going to give what I got here, an extra socket. It's going to give a lot of very good nodes, explicit, like +2 chaos resistance. So be sure that you do that always. So put in your filter that you will find the ornate plates, just get a white one, and do what I just told you guys. And then you got 4 modifiers on it from the ascendancies, and that's how you need to do it. So what do I got here? I got 3 times +2 maximum fire resistance. I think this is the easiest way. There are some people that are using some uniques too, this one. So if you find this unique, you can use it too, by the way. But I like to do it with this. It's for me very accessible, and I don't need to get rid of some items. For example, I put them here for you guys if I can find them. So for example, this is an item that a lot of people use at the start too, to get really quick to 90% resistance cap. So you can see the Rise of the Phoenix is going to give +5 to maximum fire resistance, and then 5 to lightning and to cold too. So this is something that you can use if you don't have yet my equipment. Then another one that is used by a lot of people is this one. So the Inferno Clasp, very good too, but I got a problem with this in the end game. You lose life, you lose a lot of stuff on this item, regeneration. So this is once again a good item if you find it, or you can just buy it. You can already get it at level 24 to get your resistance to 90. So that are 2 items that a lot of people are using. I used it too when I was leveling this character, because I leveled this character the last couple of weeks. So that is the chest. Then for the gloves, once again, you get life, strength, and the resistance that you need. If you got a lot of money, you can get attack speed on this one too, or +3 maximum to melee gems, but that's very expensive. For the boots, of course, get 35% increased movement speed, maximum life strength, and guess what? A resistance. On all those items, I got the rune Soul Core of Jikwani on it. So this is all the equipment. Then for the belt, life again, resistance, get life regeneration on this one too. Life regeneration, very important. Now I'm going to talk about the shield. What is important with the shield? Block chance. Block chance is an overpowered defensive stance. So passively, you will always block this 75%. So, and if you block, you don't take damage. So block chance is very important on your shield. Life is important, and then a resistance that you need to have. You can get additional physical damage reduction, and you can get some extra armor. But block chance is what you need to have. So this is a shield. Now about jewelry. So what do I take on my amulet? Because this is not really good, because I still got a rarity on. Life, of course. An amulet can roll percentage life increased maximum life, you can see it here. The amulet is the only one that still can roll it. Try to get it. Get attributes on it, get life regeneration on it, and if you still need to cap somewhere, resistance on it. I got here Titanic as an enchant, that's this one. So this is a very good one. Stun build up, stun threshold, and strength. And then for the jewelry, and this is very important. So jewelry need to have accuracy. You will see if you play this build and you jump on a pack and your leap slam is not hitting everything, that means that your accuracy is too low. And that's very bad, because you jump in a pack, you think, fuck, I didn't prime it for Boneshatter, and you probably die or you need to re-jump. So how can you see that? So you can see it here. I don't really understand it 100%, but what do you need to do is, so the moment that you don't see your DPS anymore going up with accuracy, it means it's capped. So you can see it here. So accuracy in every skill. So your accuracy rating is 2000 and I got 100% hit. I'm not sure what they mean with 2 at 2M, 5M, that's meters, okay. So you lose a little bit if you're 9 meters away, but 9 meters is already afar. So you need to be sure that this is 100%. It's very important, like I said, for your leap slam. So you can see leap slam is at 2 meters, 100%, that's good. Because it's always jumping on enemies, so this needs... So if you jump and it's not working what I showed you guys, you need to get your accuracy higher. So I want to show you guys that I got 2000 at the moment, Boneshatter just the same. Very important that you got 100% here. So stack accuracy until you're hitting the entire time. And that's something that you will do on your rings. I got 800 accuracy only on my rings. Once again, what do you need on the rings? Guess what? Life. And you need to have... it keeps disconnecting me at the moment, so let's have a look. So you need to get life, you need to get accuracy, you need to get, of course, resistance on it. And on one ring, I would put some life leech on it too. Is it needed? Not really, but at the start it can be interesting. So that was the gear. For the life flask, just use something that looks like this. I like 20% of recovery applied instantly. You don't need to use it that much because you got a lot of life regeneration, and mana does not matter because at some point we're using this one. Blood magic. I didn't say it in the tree, but this is not going to consume any more mana. So that was it for the gear, guys. Now I'm going to talk about Leap Slam priming and how does it work with Boneshatter and a couple of other things. Okay, guys, the next step. So you saw the gameplay. If I jump in a pack with Leap Slam and then do Boneshatter, everything is destroyed. How is that working? So I'm going to show you guys that. So what is Leap Slam going to do? Leap Slam is only used to stun enemies, prime stun enemies. So what does that mean, prime stun enemies? So you will see that you got, if you jump on a pack of enemies, you see here at the top, you see a bar. And if that bar is full, that's a stun bar, you do a heavy stun. So you got everywhere in the tree, stuff like this. So you can see it here, stun build up. So it looks like this. It depends on stun build up and DPS that you do. So you jump on a pack and you stun enemies. But that's not all. What is priming? So priming is needed for Boneshatter. So you will see that if you hit with Boneshatter, the strike will cause a heavy stun on enemies that are primed for stun. So what does that mean? So primed for stun, that means that if you are on a certain moment in the bar, depending on the rarity of the enemy, so you can see it here. So magic enemies are primed at 50, rare at 60, and unique at 70, and white at 40. So, and if you use on that moment Boneshatter on that enemy, he will get heavy stunned. So you can do a heavy stun before 100%. That makes it very strong. So, and you will see it on bosses too. So you can get your stun bar to 80% on a boss, use Boneshatter, and that dude is laying on the ground. But there are a couple of things that you need to understand. So first of all, if you jump with Leap Slam and you don't have this support gem, you will heavy stun the enemies with Leap Slam. That means you cannot use Boneshatter anymore. So you need to use Brink. Brink is something that they introduced in this update. So supported skills, stun built up cast by supported skill cannot reach 100%. So what is this going to do? It's going to let you not heavy stun with Leap Slam. Makes it very good. So you just jump on enemies, you get a certain enemy, depending on the rarity, to a certain primed level, and then you can use Boneshatter. That's how it works. So this is important, Brink, and then you just put other sockets on it, and then the moment that they are primed, you can do Boneshatter. But what is doing the big AoE is this one. So Boneshatter already is doing an AoE of himself, but if you go with Impact Shockwave, you get a bigger AoE in combination with Herald of Ash, and that's how it works. So be sure that you understand the priming, and be sure that you understand this. So if you jump on a pack, and you see that the pack is falling on the ground, that means that you don't have the Brink gem. If you jump on a pack and you do Boneshatter and they are not exploding, that means that you are not at the primed level already. So you need to get a little bit more stun built up. Very important. And then a little bit later you can get Devastate, because what is Boneshatter doing too? So if Boneshatter is always doing heavy stun on a primed enemy, and with Devastate, support the skill fully break an armor when inflicting a heavy stun. You always do that. And then because the armor is broken, you will get armor explosion. And this is going to clear even more AoE. So we got 3 mechanics that is going to make a big AoE. That is the Shockwave, that is Boneshatter by himself, and that is armor explosion, and that is Herald of Ash. So this mechanic is very important, because if you don't understand this, take it from me, it will take a long time to do the campaign, a long time to do maps. So you just jump on enemies, prime them, Boneshatter, and that's it. So sometimes it will be harder, like if you run maps that enemies are immune to stun build up, it takes longer to prime them. If you got armored enemies, it's very hard to do it too, because they are not easily stunned. So always watch that if you put that modifier on your map. So now I'm going to have a look to my paper. So now I'm going to talk about the accuracy, why it's important in this game. I already told you guys it a little bit, but I want to go more in detail. Okay guys, the next one, I'm going to talk about Sunder and accuracy. So this is something that you need to understand. Why is Sunder doing so much damage? So it's very important that you understand this, and why is this not a Resolute Technique build, but a crit build? Because of this, otherwise it does not work. Sunder. So you can read, Sunder is just going to do something like this. So you can see it here. By the way, I like to put it here, Control, and then you put it here on my right mouse, because it's very easy to use. So you can see, you can read it, but this is important. So consumes fully broken armor on enemies to guarantee a critical hit. But you need to have fully broken armor for first. So I'm using Earthshatter to do that. So you always see me doing this. I do Earthshatter 2 times. I do Seismic Cry, armor is broken. And then I do with Infernal Cry, I do Sunder. And therefore it does so much damage. So you first need to break the armor, and then you need to use Sunder. Sunder. Just for this. Always critical hit, 100% critical hit. Therefore, it does so much damage. So, how do you get the accuracy? So, first of all, I told you already on the rings is very important. But there are some things that I took. So, this is something that you probably never will take on a Resolute Technique build. But I would take this right away. So if you see that your accuracy is low, here is 10% increased accuracy. Take it, and the attack speed is very good too. So you don't need to have that much, but that's why we got accuracy and crit in this build. purely for the Sunder. So I will do it again. So what do you need to do? You come to an enemy, you do Earthshatter, you do Seismic Cry, this is the combo. Then you see on the enemy that it got a broken icon. And then you use Infernal Cry and you do your Sunder and you hit the enemy for 100,000 and a little bit damage. So you need to understand that because at some point this is a combo. So I will do it at the end of the video. I will show you guys it on the bosses too, but that's how Sunder works. Okay guys, the next one is the Earthshatter. So I already told you guys that Earthshatter is purely here. It does a nice amount of damage too, by the way. So Earthshatter, you're going to get fissures out, and then you need to let them explode with a cry, and that's the most damage. But that's not all. I use Earthshatter, I use it to break the armor that we can apply Sunder. So you can see it here. So this is the supported gem that is going to do that, Splinter. Break armor equal to 15% physical damage dealt by supported skills. So what do you need to do is you just need to go to a boss. You just need to do this. No, you do this. You break the armor and then you use Sunder. It's very good. You can use it very easy on hard rares in maps too. So I do this most of the time and then I just use this. Or you can do Sunder it. Most of the time this will kill already the yellows. So Earthshatter is not only here to break the armor, but is doing a lot of DPS too. You will see it with Upheaval. Is here. Upheaval is very important because it's going to give an extra fissure. Quality is very important here too because it's giving an extra fissure too. So it's limited. At some point, I think it's 3 and then the fissures stop. Then they go away again. Or yeah, here you can see it. So I think you can do it 4 times, but you need to watch it a little bit. So if you're on a stronger boss, you probably need to do it 3-4 times. Do your Seismic Cry to break the armor. But this is DPS one and the purpose is to break the armor. Okay guys, the next one is Hammer of the Gods. So Hammer of the Gods is purely here to do a lot of DPS. But the problem is they nerfed it really hard in this patch. So how does it work? Hammer of the Gods, you just throw a hammer on an enemy and it does a lot of damage. But first of all, you need to build up your glory. So you need to have a certain amount of glory and then the Hammer of the Gods is off CD. How do you get glory? By heavy stunning enemies. So we are heavy stunning the enemies the entire time in mapping. So if you do maps, you will see that Hammer of the Gods is always off cooldown. On bosses, it's a little bit harder. Therefore, it's not so good anymore because it's very hard to stun a Pinnacle boss. But what do you need to do? So first of all, you just keep doing Earthshatter, you're doing Sunder, and at some time you will see that on a boss, you will see that his stun bar is at 80% and is primed for stunning. On that moment, you do Boneshatter, you will see that the boss is on the ground, and then you need to do a combo, because on that moment you can do Hammer of the Gods. You always need to do a combo with Seismic Cry. Why Seismic Cry? Because you will use 2 times your Hammer of the Gods. So why is that? So perform a damaging war cry, knocking back nearby enemies. If a heavy stunned enemy is hit with the war cry, so we always going to use that after a heavy stun, because you need to do it, otherwise you don't have the glory either. Your next slam is empowered to perform an additional aftershock. So that means that you will use Hammer of the Gods 2 times. So therefore, heavy stun, Seismic Cry, then you use Infernal Cry to buff your next attack, and then you use Hammer of the Gods, and you will see that it be used 2 times. So that's the combo that you need to do. Okay guys, now I'm going to talk about a couple of things maybe that people will ask. So live Regen, how do you get so much that you see here? And if you jump, why I got 630 every second? Because this is almost a flask that is used the entire time. So first of all, you need to get it on your gear. So here I got it, here I got it. You can stack a shitload of them. I think that on every piece you can stack it except, I think, the weapon. So if you want, you can go to 1000, 1500. That's not a problem. Where can you find some live Regen nodes? So you start here. This is good. You will find a couple of them over here. This is good. So, and here is good too. So this is already going to give you a lot of life regions. So if you do the campaign, if you start mapping, you die a lot, just take those nodes. Just spec out of a couple of other nodes and just take this for the life region, because it's a very strong defensive mechanic. So if you want to find it, you can just put life here, by the way, like this, and then you see everywhere where you can fight it. So how does it work? So on items you will find life regeneration modifiers, so life regeneration per second, so that's the base. And then you can buff it with percentage, that's this one, and you can buff it with increased life regeneration too. So that are the two mods that you need to have to buff it. So that's very good. How do you need to cap your resistance? I already told you guys it. So I just did it like this. So how do you get to 90%? That's a question that I searched for a long time too. How do you get the Smith of Kitava to 90%? So I put it just here. So you will find the soul core of Puharta. Then you will need to take this one too. This is a very big one. Unnatural resilience. So you will see it here. So if I get rid of this one, I will do it here with my friend. So let's do it like this. So you can see this is a lot that I lose. So be sure that you take this one. This is very important, and then of course this wheel is important too. So here you got all the maximum resistance +1. This is fire, so those two are going to give +2. Those three, because this is giving +1. Those 3 nodes is going to give +3 to fire, cold, and lightning. Very important too. So this is 3. I think this is like 4, and then the other one. So that's how I did it. Then of course you can use the gear too. So that's important too. I'm going to check my paper, but I think that I got everything explained to you guys. Now I'm going to show you guys the rotation on the map boss. So just live that you can see what is happening. And yeah, then I'm going to end the video. Okay guys, I'm now in a tier 15 map, or I think even tier 16. So what do you need to do? So most of the time you're just going to do this. So you jump on enemies, and then you will see this. This is the prime bar. So do you see here? These are white mobs. They need to be 40%. If I use now Boneshatter, this will be dead. So now my shockwave, bang. That's what it does. So you just jump on them. Then for a yellow one, you got a couple of options. So you can just jump with Leap Slam on them. And therefore it's so tanky, by the way. So I'm just standing here and I'm not dying. So you can just keep doing this. Jump with Leap Slam, use Boneshatter, and just try to kill the enemy like that. But that's not always possible. So what I do is there are a couple of combos. So you can just throw Hammer of the Gods on his head. But I do Earthshatter. Most of the time that's more than enough, and if Earthshatter does not work, I just do Sunder with Earthshatter. So I will show you guys now the Hammer of Justice. So here is a yellow one, so it's at 5. You just throw it here, and you will see the circle. Here we go. So this yellow one is done. That's very fun, and that's why I like this build a lot. You can do a lot of things. It depends a little bit on the enemies what you can use. So this was now an enemy that I can one-shot with Hammer of the Gods. But sometimes they are a little bit harder. They got like energy shield, or they got a fire shield or something like that. And then it's a little bit harder. And then I go with Earthshatter and combo with Sunder Infernal Cry. But you can see why is this so good? For this reason. You can play this build blindly, by the way. This is almost the highest tier map that you can have in the game. And still, yeah, I don't need to get worried about dying. Because you got so many defensive... Yeah, you're almost immune to elemental damage. Because you got 90%. You got block. So physical damage is not doing really that much either. And small hits. And and so on. But I think we got all the rares already. So what do you need to do on a rare? Just do this. So if, for example, because this was a rare, you just do Earthshatter 1, 2, cry, and it's going to destroy 2. Here we go. So you can play just with Earthshatter, by the way, too, if you want. But this is a little bit slower. So this is a blue one. Now we are going to do Earthshatter first. And here you can see I already broke the armor. You can see it at the top. It's this icon. And then you can do just Sunder. So this is now 100k DPS in this phase. Because the armor was broken, 100% crit. So how does that work on the boss? So I will show you guys. So what I do always on the boss is this. I start with Earthshatter because I want to break his armor. Just put the fissures out. Now it's broken. Now you can just do... Yeah, I did it wrong. I need to do Infernal Cry first. So let's do it again. So you just do this. Break the armor. So Sesame Cry, armor is broken. Infernal Cry, Sunder. Look now to his HP. Bang. Do you guys see it? So now he's stunned too. So I stunned him by accident with Sunder. So now armor is broken again. Infernal Cry, Sunder. Bang. Here we go. Now we are going Hammer of the Gods because you can do that of course too. So we need to get the stun bar to 80% primed. So here we go. Here we go. Yeah, I stunned him again by accident. So what do you need to do? Normally you need to use Boneshatter, but I'm doing a little bit too much DPS. This is, by the way, tier 4. I cannot go higher. So let's try to do it again if possible. No, it's not going to happen because I'm going to do more DPS. Can I stun him with Leap? Yeah, so now Yeah, I was too late. Okay, Sesame Cry, Hammer of the Gods. Let's hope that I was in time because he was not laying on the ground. Yeah, it was in time. Do you guys see? That was 2 times the Hammer of the Gods because I used Sesame Cry when the boss was laying on the ground. So I will do it really quick. Let's kill this dude. Here we go. So that's how you need to do it. And so I do a decent amount of DPS too. If I did this right, he was in a couple of seconds dead. And you guys can see it here. If I'm not mistaken, I'm on the highest level for bosses. So I got +1, +1, +1, +1 to map difficulty. 4 is the highest. So that was it for the build, guys. It is a long video, but I wanted to explain everything to you guys. I'm very happy with this build. It works really well. Smith of Kitava need a little bit rework still. But it's very strong tanking. You almost cannot die if you play a little bit. So enjoy the build. Thanks for watching. Have fun. Bye bye.